So yeah, you need some hand weights and you also need a resistance band as well. With the strength and conditioning, whether you're a swimmer, a runner, a cyclist, a water polo player, whatever you do, it's important that you think about the muscles that you're working. The muscles that you need to be activated to give you more efficiency, more power, more mobility. So doing exercises where you're not using those particular muscles, they're not going to do you any harm, but they're also not going to enhance your sport. Okay, so if you're short of time, focus on the key muscles you need for that particular sport. If your posture's not good when you run, and I spoke about this last week, doesn't matter how strong your legs are and whether your cadence is correct, if you're not strong here and you're not strong here, you're going to be sitting. So we need everything to be quite strong and mobile and loose. So for instance, if you come down to touch your toes and you're here, if you can improve that over the next 4 or 5 weeks and get down even a little bit further, not necessarily to the floor, but improve that will improve your running. Jogging. So has anyone done the intervals? Week 1, week 2, the ones on their WhatsApp? How have you found them? Is it good having me in your ear? Is it like, for God's sake, she goes on? What is it like? If it's the latter, you don't have to answer. You don't have to answer that bit. So, we're just jogging nice and easy. Abs are in, shoulders relaxed. Give me 8 more here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going to walk and lift the knee. Now look forward and abs are in, and then take it back. Now it depends what space you've got. So I'm just going to do 4 steps forward and 4 steps back. Looking forward. Temptation is to look down, isn't it? Okay, let's take it back. We're going to do that one more time. So, we're loosening up through the hip flexor. We use it when we run. Now, I want you to take it wider and rotate. Out. External rotation. So, everything we do, we know why we're doing it. Yeah? Rather than just doing it just because I read it in a magazine. Question what I'm telling you. Keep going. Give me 8 more. What's that? Oh, that's all right. Children can come first. 2 more. 1 more time. Okay, now kick your heels up. So you're flicking your heels right up to your bottom. You're driving your arms. Now, this is a little test for you. What did I say last week? Where are the arms? What do they go from and to? Keep doing that. What was it? Hip to lip. Remember? You'll be running and you'll be coming up with all of these little things, these genetisms that I've given you. Give me 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. March. Okay, take the legs wide, arms up. Rotate. Alternating direction. Two more. And one more time. Roll the shoulders. Okay, one more. All right, we're gonna get going. So, every exercise we're gonna do, I'm gonna tell you why we're doing it and the key muscles that we are working when we're doing them. So So your first one is just a normal squat. Now, when we do a squat, I'm going to turn that down even more. There's two main squats to do. You have one where your feet are just a little bit wider than hip width. Your abs are in, your weight is in your heels, your knees are soft at the beginning and at the end. And we go straight down and straight up. Now, what you might find, if your range is limited, if you're tight in your hips, if your glutes are not firing adequately, you would be better by going into more of a plie squat. Whichever one you're doing, your knees are over your second and third toe. We are working quads, hamstrings, glutes. Now, we're going to do this and I'm going to ask you a question. So, off we go. You choose whether you do this one or a plie squat. Now, I'm going to show you both from both angles. So, keep that going. It's down and up. My chest stays lifted, and imagine that I'm just sitting down onto a little chair, tapping it and then coming back up. Keep going. Now a plie squat, still my knees are over my toes, but my chest stays a little bit higher. So I tuck my tailbone under a little bit more. Okay, I want 20 seconds more. So you choose. Now as you're doing this is your question. Answer honestly. Can you feel that a little bit in the quads, but can you feel it more in your glutes? And if the answer is yes, I can feel it more in my glutes, brilliant. If you're feeling it more in your quads, it means you are more quad dominant and you're going to get tired quicker. Remember what I said last week? Our glutes are our biggest muscle, and rest. We want them to be doing the firing and the power. So if we're working from here, and I'm 2 miles into my run and I'm feeling the burn here, and I'm not using this muscle, I'm not going to be able to drive my leg and power it through. All I'm going to do is just slide my leg through. So I'm going to be sitting. Okay, so that is a real test. When you're doing squats, make sure that your glutes are firing. So all of the glute exercises that we do in classes. Right, we're now going to go squats on one leg. Now you might want to put fingertips against the wall. And we're going to just lift the knee. Remember, knee stays in line with toes. You're only going down halfway. Now there's going to be a little bit more movement from side to side because you're balancing on one leg. But if we are working the glutes predominantly rather than the quads, but we've got one glute that fires more than the other, when we do a normal squat, we're going to just carry the other one. And when you run, that's when you're likely to get injured. So we need to do some isolating work, one leg and then the other. Now you should be feeling this a lot quicker than you did when we did the 2 legs. One more time, and again the same question. Are you feeling that in your quad or your glute? For me, completely felt that in my glute. Okay, we're going to do the same on the other side. This is not about going all the way down. It's about keeping that chest up, abs in, and off we go. Because when we run, both feet are off the floor at one point in every stride. You are also on one foot. So it makes sense to do single leg stuff, doesn't it? Abs are in. Ooh. Okay, let's do 4 more. Are you feeling that in the same place as the other leg? One more time. And release. Have a little shake. Okay, now this again, I haven't got, it would be too difficult for me to do it against the wall and have the camera in the right place. But your fingers just gently touching a wall, but you're not holding on, you're not leaning. Here, you are coming up onto all 10 toes. Up and down. Now there's no rocks, so I'm not doing this. Think about, again, let's break this down. When we run, that back foot to come through has to have the power from the glutes. But we're up on the toes. We are driving from the big toe. And if you can't do a calf raise coming up onto your big toe, you are going to have calf problems, shin problems, ankle problems, plantar fasciitis. Now, you've probably heard of all of these things before, and this is why. So if your calves are not doing what they should be doing, and you can't come up onto your big toe, and you can't do calf raises adequately here, you should not be running. You should not be running. Build the building blocks first, and then go to running. Okay, so up against a wall, going all the way up onto your big toes. I'm with my hands, I'm against an imaginary wall. Just go with me on this. Okay, now I would say you want to be able to do, you want to be able to do about 50 of those, and then the muscles will start to get tired. But what I want you to do now, and you do need to be up against something, is one foot. So the other foot, just going to show you, don't want to hold on to these, but you're going to basically have the other foot up and you're going to come up onto your toes and drive onto that big toe. And you should easily be able to do 20 to 30 of these, and the range should be the same. So if you've got someone in your household that could look as you're doing them, so let's do the right side. Off we go. I'm going to do it this way. Okay, that's not going to work. Keep that going. I'm going to try and do it this way. I will turn the angle of the camera. Because you can't expect the limbs to do what they're supposed to be doing, the body to be doing what it should be doing, if we haven't got that range. Okay, now I want you to change feet. Have you got the same range from one foot to the other? You could do this off a step. If you have Achilles issues, shin issues, ankle mobility issues, calf issues, then this is crucial. And to be honest, if you don't want those things, this is still crucial. Prevention, better than cure. Okay, and relax. So, calf raises are key. Yes, you can see there that I've done squats, both feet. Then I've done single leg. Same with the calf raises. We've done both, and then we've isolated and done single. Okay? Now, this combines the two. Abs are in, and you should be able to do this without losing your balance. So we're going to come up now on the balls of the feet, which is where we will be when we're doing real short, sharp sprints. So we're going to go forward and back. Okay, so we're going to go 30. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That wasn't too bad, was it? We're now going to do that just up and down on the spot. So get on the balls of your feet, abs are in, good posture, try not to look down. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This one, lateral. So just imagine there's a little weight there. Over, over. Ready? Ballsy feet, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rest. Okay. What have we done? We have done squats 2 feet, squat single, single, calves 2 feet, single, single. So we're not going to do it now because I want to get through as much as we can. But you would also do that sequence on one leg. Forward and back. 30. 30 up and down. 30 to the side and then the other leg. Because again, if you cannot do that, if you cannot drive and get up through here, how are you going to get that leg through with that drive to power back again? It's not going to happen. If we've got one leg that does that and one leg that does that, we're going to get injured. Okay? So jot that down because that is key. Right, we're now going to put the band on because I've spoken quite a lot about glutes doing their firing. And if you do any of the Pilates with us or you do any of the booty workouts or lower body workouts, you will always have those type of exercises in. So things like the bridge on the floor where we put maybe a weight on the hips up and down. This one though is really good and I do this before I run every time. I might do it at home before I go out, but I do it. So a little squat, again depending on your space, but you are working your glute med. So we're getting these activated. So stepping out and then stepping back. So if you've got space, go 4 one way and 4 back. Obviously for the camera, I'm just going to do 2 each way. Now have a little look. I don't bring my feet completely together. I sink down and this is where I'm going to work into my glute med. We need this area strong. Keep going because I touched on this last week. When we run there. So your glute meds are doing the work, not just your glute max. So not just center here, but this part here. And if this is weak, this is when people get, keep going, this is when people get ache in the lower back, in the quadratus lumborum, and also piriformis. And then people say, oh, I've got piriformis syndrome. You haven't. You've got glutes that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and your piriformis is just tight. It's reacting. So again, let's go to the root, build the base, and then we can progress. But you cannot be asking your body to keep going. You cannot be asking your body to do something if you're not given the instructions and the tools from the base, if that makes sense. Okay, keep going. You should be feeling that. And here, I wouldn't worry about how many you do, because some days it switches on much quicker than others. So what I tend to do is do it, and when I start to feel it, about a number 7 out of 10, then I just add on another 8 reps. But I don't have a number in my head. Because like some days, if I've sat on the sofa more, they might be less switched on, and they might just take longer to switch on. Okay? All right, have a breather. Now we're going to come down to the floor because we're going to do that bridge. We're going to do it with a weight on our lap if we want one. So we're going to keep the band on, but again, all of that is optional. But your feet are nice and close to your body, abs are engaged, and we're going to peel up. Now really squeeze your bottom, engage your core so you're supporting this girdle, and then slowly down.
So this is more your glute max, the big center part of your glutes. So when people say, yeah, I activate my glutes, again, are you activating this part or are you activating the glute med? Because you need to do both. Really clench your butt cheeks. So again, my question to you is, where are you predominantly feeling this? Yeah, you're going to feel it a little bit in your quads, a little bit in your hamstrings, but it should be predominantly through the glutes. And if it's not, don't worry, it just means you need to do more glute work. Okay, keep that going. I want another 8. Keep going. So, when people are saying, oh, I'm going to do my strength and conditioning now, and then I'm going to start spring, really running a lot, and I'll stop the strength and conditioning. No. If you want to be a good runner and you want to be a long-term runner, strength and conditioning should be part of your plan twice a week, every single week of your life. If you're a runner, it's not seasonal. Okay, and relax. We're going to take the band off. Now, all of the core sessions, the yoga session, the Fitness Pilates beginner 4-week course, it's in the topics. All of the abs classes are going to be so important to you. And next week, we've got the start of our 2-week abs focus. But let's just break it down into a simple plank. So you can be on your knees or your toes, you can be on your hands or your elbows, but it's about good posture. So again, let's take this into running terms. This, when we're in a plank, if I have my bum up in the air, that's like me doing that, walking or running like that. That's not going to be engaging my core. If my hips are dropped, that's me like that. Again, I'm not going to be a very efficient runner. So this needs to be strong. This is how I run. Nice and tall. That's exactly the same when you do a plank. You engage, you lengthen your spine, and you draw back through your shoulder blades. So I always take it into a real situation. And then I think, okay, how can I improve this exercise to help me when I go for my run, my ride, whatever I'm doing? So let's come down into that plank, knees or toes, hands or elbows, doesn't matter. But we're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not looking back at our feet because, hold that position, I wouldn't be running like this. I would be running looking forward. Down, but forward. Exactly the same. So let's not get into bad habits when we're doing our conditioning work. Hold that plank, hold it. Hold it for another 10. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. Okay, from here, again, there's some really good back exercises we can do. And we do them in our Pilates. We do laying down on the floor, opposite arm and leg. We do breaststroke arms. But a real simple one to do is just opposite arm and leg. So all we're doing is extending opposite arm and leg. So the leg, the arm and the back all stay in one long line. Now I want you to keep that going. Keep going. But as you're doing it, I want you to think the knee that you're balancing on, let that stay directly underneath your hip. So you need to, again, really draw your navel in. Think about posture. Because I could do this exercise and I could let that knee roll out. I could let the hip roll. I could let the legs just swing, just to say I've done it, or I could do it correctly. So nice and long. Engaging and no rocking or rolling through from the hips. Okay, do 4 more. 2 to go. And 1 more. Okay. There are other exercises. You know, I could be here till midnight. Shall I? Giving you exercises. We could do doing the clowns. We could do a normal static lunge. A good lunge to do, if you want to increase your stride length, is a backward lunge. It helps the stride length much more than a forward lunge. However, if when you do a lunge, you struggle to get your knees over your toes and your back knee under your hip, then I would say start with a forward lunge. Once you've got that nailed, then go to a backward lunge. Because quite often when people go to a backward lunge, this is what they do. And then that's not effective. It's not an effective exercise, but it's also not going to enhance your running. So forward, beginners, progress eventually, but the shoulders back and the chest is up. Okay, so we're going to do 1 more, which is a backward lunge progression. And this is kind of combining a drill with strength, with core. So lunge, tap, knee up, bend the back knee and drive. Now, before you do it, when you lift that knee, you should be able to balance for 2 or 3 seconds without falling. So try it. Don't worry about going with my pace, just do your own. Let's do 8 on each side. Where are you looking? Oh, wobble, wobble. Okay, now I want you to do 4 still on that same side, because the reality is that that's what we do. We lunge, kind of, and then we bring that leg through. But when we do that, we come up on the toes. So now I want a lunge, knee, and you drive up on your toes on the balancing leg. Hold on. When you do this, make sure the toes of this foot are up, not pointed. Because that's not how we run. So you're going to come up on the toes on this foot, and the toes are up on this foot. Just 4, off we go. Ooh. Can you see that that's effective? Let's go to the other side, foot flat. Foot flat. Think about posture. Toes up on that knee that you're coming through with. All right, now let's take it, coming up on the toes. A couple there, when I came through, had my toes pointed. There's a lot to think about. But again, it's replicating running, where your core has got to be activated. So, let's just have a little recap. We did 2 leg squats. I talked about the different types of squats. We did single leg squats, balancing. Maybe, if you're in a safe area, excuse me, you could do that with your eyes closed. I'm not saying that's how you run, but it will help your balance even more. Then we did calf raises, 2 feet, single leg, single leg. Then we did our jump squats, forward, 30, up and down, and side, side. Then the single leg.
Again, you could do them with your eyes closed, as long as it's safe. All right. Then we came into glute med. And things like in classes, we do squat, abduct, that type of thing. That's all the same area. So when I say we're doing it already in classes, we are. The single leg stuff, we're not really doing so much. They're the key ones that you should be putting in. Then we did the bridge, up and down. Then we did the plank. Thinking about that. Thinking about it as real terms of runners. And then we did the opposite arm and leg. And then we did the lunge and the knee and the drive. We're going to do a little stretch, but we're going to do mobility next week. And then we're going to do warm up and cool downs. No, we're going to do drills the following week. But any questions about what I've just gone through there? Any questions? Type away if you've got any questions. If it's making sense, give me an emoji, smiley or a tick or something. Let me know that it is making sense to you. Yes. Fantastic. Brilliant. Like I say, really, honestly, I could talk to you all night, all day about it. But just giving you, what I don't want to do is completely overload you and then you go, oh, just don't have the time to fit this in. You do have the time. You know, I know somebody who's a phenomenal runner. He's a 16.5-minute runner. He brushes his teeth and he does his calf raises. All right? There's always a way. Put the kettle on. Brush it. Do your squats. Brush your teeth. Put the kettle on and do your squats. Okay, let's do a hamstring stretch. Whew. All right, let's do the same on the other side. So it's about you changing the way you think about running, but it's not to scare you. And honestly, if you run at 8-minute mile pace or you run at 18-minute mile pace, it does not matter. You are, honestly, in my eyes, you are an athlete. You are out there training into a calf stretch. If you're coming and you're listening, you're doing this, you obviously want to learn, you want to get better. And you want to be a runner for longer. You know, you don't want to be running for 2 months and then injured for 2 months, then running again for 2 months and then injured again. You don't want that cycle. And honestly, this will help you. Change sides. Now, I'm going to be honest here. There will be people that will do it for a little bit and then the weather will improve and then they'll stop doing it. Your choice. Absolutely your choice. But why gamble with your body? You got one body. Don't take that risk, in my opinion. Heel to bottom. You know, 50, 60 pounds for rehab every single session. And these are the exercises you will be given. So prevention rather than cure. Let's change sides. So again, my question is, and I asked this last week, do you warm up? Do you cool down? Do you come back in and stretch? Take the legs wide, hand on the hip, over you go. And then over to the other side. And then just come down and slowly come up through the spine and just roll the shoulders back. And already, you know, we haven't been out running, but I feel looser and I do feel I could go out and do a run a lot faster now than I would have done if I'd have just done a jog warm up. I do. I feel looser, I feel more springy, and hopefully you feel the same.